it's me, Pam Baldwin of Paper Clutch, and I am here to talk about how to break in a sketchbook. What do you mean by that? Well, have you ever gotten a new sketchbook or a new notebook and you're just too scared to create in it because you don't want to mess it up? Well, this is what I do when I get a new sketchbook, so I can break through all those fears and I can dive right in and start creating. I am going to be showing you how to break in a sketchbook. And what I mean by that is when you get a brand new book or a notebook, I don't know if you're like me, but you're like scared to do anything in it because you don't want to mess it up. So I'm going to show you what I do to kind of break through and just dive right into a sketchbook. This is the new sketchbook I got. I do have recommendations in a previous post about what sketchbooks I recommend. I also have a blog post. Y'all, I'm doing all these things. I have to show y'all the blog post. So if you missed that video, you can totally go back and see what I recommend. But this is a new sketchbook. It's completely blank. It's flat. You can open it up. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do when we break in a sketchbook is literally, we're not going to think. We're not going to get too crazy. We're not going to worry about anything. We're just going to paint. And we're not going to paint anything concrete or serious. We're not going to sketch. We're not doing anything. We are simply going to just be drawing or painting. I like to paint, okay? You can totally draw if you wanted to, or color or whatever. But we're going to paint like blobs, okay? And we're going to paint these blobs kind of oblong. You can do circles, whatever you want, but just dive right in and start painting some different shapes on your first few pages. Honestly, I'm not even sure if this first page right here is actually the correct kind of paper, but it doesn't matter because this is how we're going to break it in. So I'm just going to draw a couple different blobs. I like to start out with one color first, not thinking. Don't think, guys. Don't be like, well, where's this shape going to go? Or should I maybe put a shape here? Just go for it. Just let your hand do all the work and put some music on, jam to something. All right, so then I'm going to go for pink because I always go for pink. And I'm going to connect my blocks. And the best part, this is what I love about watercolor, is that you can make it bleed into each other and it gives it kind of a cool effect. So I might make that one a little bigger. I'm going to come over here. And the best part about this journal sketchbook is I can go all the way across the page. So I'm going to go all the way across. I'm going to do, I think I'm going to do a circle here. Not just a handful of nuts, so I'm like coughing over here. So let me do like a circle. I might balance it out and do another circle over here. So literally all we're doing is just random shapes. I might come back in and add a little more color to my blue blobs. This is a very, I love this liquid watercolor. It's a slate blue. See, I can't talk this early in the morning and it's 10. This is sad. But it does not absorb very well on the paper. So while I love the color, my gracious, it's not the best when I'm actually creating a piece for someone because it just the color just like sucks out of it. But for something like this, you know, it's fun to use. And y'all don't make fun of my nails. I was trying to be all fancy the other day and paint my nails fancy, and thank goodness I'm not a nail tech. Let's just say that. All right, so I'm going to keep on keeping on. I'm going to draw, let's see, I might have one here that connects. And just need some more pink over here. But don't be scared of the first page of your sketchbook. I've heard some artists actually just completely skip the first page of your sketchbook, but I kind of like a sketchbook to be complete because once you have a complete sketchbook, it makes you feel like you did something. But I have so many sketchbooks, y'all, confession time, that are not complete at all. I haven't done anything with them. Okay, so now I'm going to go for yellow. I always like yellow. I'm using for the yellow, it's more of a, it's not a liquid watercolor, so I'm going to have to add a lot more water to it. And I'm going to do some big circles here and fill in some space. So this is just something to do to get you started, to not be so scared to mess up your sketchbook. And y'all, if it turns out ugly, what I do is I'll take a piece of painting that I like, a piece of painting. I'll take a painting that I like and literally tape it over something ugly. It's genius. So if you mess up a page in your sketchbook, it's okay. You can just tape something cool over it. I did that 100 times in that sketchbook I showed as a post yesterday. I just tape crap in there. It's perfect. All right, let me come here, and you see how I can bleed these together. Wasn't really intending to do that, but it looks cool. And this is a great way too to figure out different color palettes, kind of just play around. You might notice something that you didn't notice before, or a color combination that you didn't realize that you liked until you did this. That's the cool part about watercolor right there. See how it bleeds together? For instance, I was doing this one day and I realized that blue and yellow, when they bleed together, are like the coolest thing ever. So I used that in a painting later on. Let's see if I can dip some yellow in there. All right. I think we need something here. I'm going to add some more yellow on this side. Okay. All right. What else do we need? I think that's good for right now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to let this dry for just a minute. I might get out my hair dryer so that way it'll go faster. Okay, so now once it's dry, like I see some spots that aren't dry, I'm just going to come in with my pen and I'm just going to doodle, okay? So I'm going to doodle all over the place. And you don't have to be precise about this. We're just going to draw some lines. There's a ton of inspiration, guys, online for like abstract. Oh, look, I smudged it. See, but it's okay. It actually looks kind of cool that I smudged it there. But it's totally okay when you smudge it. If you mess it up, totally, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. This is just the first page of our sketchbook. It's just a way for us to just let loose and stop being so stinking perfect about everything. Because I'm going to tell you right now, artwork isn't intended to be perfect. It's intended to just make you feel good and to just let loose for a little bit. Nobody has to see your sketchbook. I'm going to show y'all my sketchbook. I showed it to you the other day because I want you to see, like, it's not perfect. It's not great. It's just, it is what it is. So I might do, rainbows are all the rage right now, which probably is why I don't paint them terribly enough. But see how I'm just adding lines and texture? It wouldn't be a sketchbook of mine without a leaf. I don't know why I'm so into drawing leaves, but it's seriously one of my favorite things to draw because it's easy and it's mindless. And that's another thing too that you can use your sketchbook for, is to just figure out, what do you like to draw? Like, what is your thing? So I might draw a leaf there. Let's see up here. I think I'm just going to draw some lines. Hopefully the shadows aren't too terrible on this. The lighting's not so good today because it's not bright and sunny again today. And it's in the morning and my studio doesn't get the best light in the morning. So I have a really fun selfie light. If you knew that I had one of those, because I'm fancy. Okay, so I'm drawing lines. What are some other things we can draw? I might want to do some dots. So I might just do some circle dots here. And put those in. But if you saw like a really cool like pattern anywhere, you know, test that out, see what it looks like, and even stuff out. So I see I have a rainbow over here. I think I'm going to do the same on this side. Okay, and then I might want to do some dots. And you can add other colors in this too. Like I'm just doing simple black pen, but I could whip out my white ink and do some white ink on here. Just whatever you think, you know, just play around with it. But this is just for you to get started in the sketchbook and feel like, oh, I've got something interesting on the first page. I can carry on and not be so intimidated by it. I think we need to do a leaf here. So I'm going to go this way. And these are really fun too. Like if you end up doing all of these like abstract watercolors, I feel like I'm in a weird spot drawing this because of the cameras. But these are really fun and they make really beautiful pieces of art too if you just play around with some stuff. So you see here, I kind of, this guy's a little bit messed up, so I can just come in and add a little bit more detail to him to take away from the fact that his stem is hideous. The best thing to do is also go on like Pinterest and look up abstract watercolor to see what other doodles people put in. I mean, I say, you know, a lot of you get ideas from other artists. I'm not saying you should go and steal anyone's work or ideas, but you know, you can get really good ideas from other people and just make it your own. There's a great book. It's called Still Like an Artist, and I cannot think of the name of the guy, but I'll try to find it and put it in my stories here after a while. But it's a great book, and it talks about how we get inspiration from all over the place. We get inspiration from other artists, and we take that inspiration and we build upon it. Otherwise, there wouldn't be all the art available today. So, you know, borrow other people's ideas and turn them into your own, which I know that is a hard thing too for artists. They don't like people stealing the work. And I mean, nobody likes your work getting stolen, but I do like the idea of someone taking an idea I had and saying, you know, I love that idea. I'm going to, you know, I'm going to expand on that a little bit more, or, and they give me credit for it. That's another awesome thing too. So if you see something that you like, you know, make it your own, and then also give credit to the artist that influenced you in that. So that's always a nice thing to do. Also, if you have an artist that influenced you to find another artist, you know, give that credit, like leave a trail of where you found that information from. All right, let's do something in this circle. Let's just make, like maybe, we'll do some like hatch marks. I guess that's what you call those. All right. There's that. And I think I'm going to do the same down here. This one's still super wet, so I'm not going to put anything on that guy above. I could actually do just some little lines where he is. Okay. It's looking good. See how cool that is? Like, it makes you feel like you accomplished and you did something decent. Oh, I see some people. I see Carly and Kim on there. Oh, what pen am I using? I am using a Le Pen. It's Le Pen drawing pen. This is a 0.5. I think this is my favorite pen. So like out of any of them. They also have different sizes of pens. This is a smaller Le Pen. It's a 0.8. No, wait, this is a fatter one. Sorry. So the 0.8 is actually fatter than the 0.5. I always get confused on sizing. So this is a smaller pen, and this is a fatter pen. So let's see, I'm going to draw some bigger circles down here. This one, it's just a bit fatter. And I like them both. I typically go towards the fatter pen when I'm doing stuff, so I was kind of surprised at myself that I had been using the 0.5 the whole time. But these are the two that I definitely recommend having. I'm not sure price points, but they're pretty good. And again, what brush I use, it's just literally, this one came, I think it's a Master. Yep, Master's Touch, y'all, Hobby Lobby brand. And it's a round. I always use a round. This one's a 0.4. This is a 4 round brush. This is the brush I typically always go to. Although when you're doing these big blobs, like bigger brushes can actually be better for you because it's less intimidating and you can kind of be freer with it. So do that. So yeah, so that is how I break in my sketchbook. I don't think about it. I just, you know, go for it and make something pretty. So that way when I open it up, I don't feel like, oh, it has to be so perfect. So if you guys have, all right. Thanks for tuning in. And if you like this video, please share it. If you like any of the things I show you, please share. It just would mean the world to me to share. And I will catch y'all next time. See ya.